Hi, my name is Pat, and this is my channel, Book Chat with Pat, and I'm glad that you're here. Today I'm going to be doing the I'll Get Around to It Later book tag. I was tagged by my friend Jess at Jess Book Girl TV, and Jess said that this tag was created by book blogger, quote unquote, and that she saw this tag on Joe Linsdell's channel. So there are 8 prompts. So here we go. Number 1, a classic book that you have been meaning to read forever but haven't read yet. Well, that's easy. I have been meaning to read The Brothers Karamazov by Dostoyevsky, and I am going to be reading this starting in February. The Ulysses 6 group of us that read Ulysses in June and July are becoming the brothers and sisters Karamazov, and we're going to read this in February. Number 2, a book on your shelf you haven't read yet. Well, I recently purchased the new Richard Osman's book. He's the author of the Thursday Murder Club. This is a new series, New Detectives, We Solve Murders, and I've heard really fun things about this book from a lot of my friends, and I want to get to this, and I just keep getting overwhelmed by events that I've signed on to, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but I will. Okay. Number 3, a book that you recently got that you haven't read yet. Well, that could certainly be Richard Osman's, because I recently got that and I haven't read it yet. And the other one, and this I have said I'm going to read in November, and this is Louise Erdrich's newest novel, The Mighty Red. And this is on my TBR for November. New purchase, and I hope that I do get to it this month. Number 4, a book you have had forever but haven't read yet. I have had forever this gigantic book, The Autobiography of Mark Twain, Volume 1. This was edited by Harriet, Elinor Smith, and other editors of the Mark Twain Project. And this is the complete and authoritative edition, Volume 1. And I haven't even attempted it. And I feel guilty every time I see it. It is truly, it is truly a weight. And it's gigantic. It's, I don't know. About 800 pages long. It's a big book. It looks bigger. It looks bigger than it is. It looks bigger than 800 pages. I don't know. A book a friend recommended that you haven't read. This is another book that I am going to read. I have a buddy read coming up on this book, but this is a book that has been recommended, I think. This is Ronan Hession's Leonard and Hungry Paul. And I have heard this book recommended by many people. And I have written it down every time I've heard somebody talk about it. I've heard Angelia at Read and Reread talk about it. I think I heard Kim at Middle of the Book March talk about it. Greg at Supposedly Fun. Maybe Brian, I think, the Bookish Texan. I feel like I've heard a lot of people talk about this and recommend this. And I am going to be reading this in December on a buddy read with Alan at Big Hard Books and Classics. So it's going to happen. Okay. A book you're procrastinating on. Okay. So I've talked about this many times, that I have, become a recent reader of science fiction. And several months ago, I read Ray Bradbury's Something Wicked This Way Comes, and I loved this book. And I had been holding off on reading this because I thought that it was part of a trilogy. And then people explained to me there are 3 books in the series, but you don't have to read one before the other. So I went ahead and read that. And then I read the first book in that series by Bradbury, and that was Dandelion Wine. And then there's the last book, and I haven't read it. And I think this was even the last book that Bradbury published, and that's Farewell Summer. And it does say here that it's a sequel to Dandelion Wine. I don't know if that's actually true, or it's just that all 3 of these are set around the same time and place. And I'm holding off reading this, and I don't know why, except that I think that I don't want to read the last book that Bradbury published. I don't know, but I've just been like almost deliberately not reading this because I don't want to complete the series. That sounds silly, I know. Okay, number 7, the next book on your TBR. Okay, these are books that I am reading in November, and I've actually started this one already. This is one of my reads for nonfiction November, and that's Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Message, and I did just start this. I just started it yesterday. So that is next up on my TBR, and I am also reading in November Othello, Shakespeare's Othello, and this is a reread, and this is with I hope to join Melinda at A Web of Stories. I hope to join her Bard Room for they read a different Shakespeare play every month, and they're reading Othello in November, and it's my hope to read that along with them this November. Okay. Number 8, tag some people. If you are watching this and you would like to do this, because I think we all have books that we've been meaning to read and we want to read and we haven't gotten to them yet, please consider yourself tagged. In addition, I'm going to tag a few people. Kevin Toll reads, Rainer reads stuff, Big Hard Books and Classics, Stuart Griffin, Read and Reread, Troy Tredup, Beyond Books, Genre Books, Alex Unabridged, Bookworm Adventure Girl, A Poet Reads to Write, CG Rated Books, Ellen Made Book Club, My Messy Bookshelf, Suey's Book Banter, Will Chambers, Roy Reads Anything, and Another Bibliophile Reads. And anybody else who's watching, this is a really cute, quick tag, so you consider yourself tagged. As always, I thank you for watching. I hope that you're doing well. I'll speak with you again soon. Take care.